I have a copy. Thank you. Thank you. I do have. I don't read it. That's a window. I want to watch the baseball game. I want that all quick.
I just brought my laptop to the game up over here.
Call to order, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We have roll call, please.
Councilmember Brown.
Yes.
Councilmember Carr. Councilmember Diarino.
Yes.
Councilmember Wells.
Here.
Mayor Nolan. Pass.
Approval of the minutes. I'd like to offer that.
Councilmember Brown.
Yes.
Councilmember Carr.
Yes.
Councilmember Diarino.
Yes.
Councilmember Wells.
Yes.
It's been approved.
Does anyone from the public have any comments on the resolutions? Seeing none, let's go to the consent agenda.
I just have one question on the consent agenda. Is the consent agenda just 209 to 213 because the way it's laid out on the agenda? And then we call out the rest individually?
That is correct.
Okay.
Does anyone have any comments on the consent agenda?
No.
I will offer it. I'll second it. Sorry?
Yeah, it's 209, 213, and 217
Through 221, and the other ones we'll be talking about separately.
That's correct.
Okay.
Okay.
I just wanted to make sure it wasn't all in one costume.
No.
Okay.
And with that, I will offer the consent agenda.
I'll second it.
Councilmember Brown.
Yes.
Councilmember Carr.
Yes.
Councilmember Diarino.
Yes.
Councilmember Wells.
Yes.
Consent agenda items have been approved.
Resolution 16214, awarding the contract for Betsy Park electrical repairs to Starlight Electric. Are there any comments from that from the table?
Other than the fact that the donator of the materials unfortunately cannot comply, so we are paying for the electric, the labor and the materials.
At the last minute, the company was not able to get that done for us, but hopefully they might be able to help us with something in the future.
So I'll offer it
Okay.
with
214,
the Starlight.
Starlight Electric, I'll second.
Let me just add that
Oh.
resolution R 16214, because it's blank, will award the contract to Starlight Electric LLC
For option A.
for proposal A,
That's
in the amount of $61,355.
Councilmember Brown.
Yes.
Councilmember Carr.
Yes.
Councilmember Diarino.
Yes.
Councilmember Wells.
Yes.
Resolution 16-214 has been approved.
16215, authorizing the agreement with the Highlands Housing Authority. Becky, would you like to speak about that?
And this is basically just making current our regular cooperative housing agreement that we have had in place for years, so we can move forward with our RAD program that we've spoke about 3 times. And I believe it was not at their last meeting, but they approved it at their last meeting.
Good. Would you like to offer it?
I'll offer that.
And I will second.
Councilmember Brown.
Yes.
Councilmember Wells. Carr.
Yes.
Councilmember Diarino.
Yes.
Councilmember Wells.
Yes.
Resolution 16-215 has been approved.
Resolution 16216, authorizing action regarding the borough's housing element and fair share plan. Does anyone have any questions?
I did produce
I will explain this to
to the public.
Okay, Jack, no, I have no questions, I apologize, no problem.
What this action is the borough attorney for the land use board described it perfectly when he said the difference between a regular land use attorney and a COA attorney is the difference between a general practitioner and a brain surgeon. There's about 4 or 5 COA attorneys in the state of New Jersey. So what we're doing is we are commissioning this firm, Waldron, so that they can petition the Superior Court for them to give us a final indefinite number for what our housing obligation should be. There's a number of different studies out there from a number of different economists. And what this would do is this would protect the borough from any type of builder's remedy that a contractor or a developer could come into town and pretty much disregard all of our land use laws and zoning laws and put up a 30-story building on the corner of, I don't know, Bay Avenue and Shrewsbury across from Lusty Lobster. And they would have every right to do that because we do not have this confirmation from the Superior Court of New Jersey that would protect us against such a suit because we don't have our hard and fast numbers. Does anyone have any question about that? Go ahead.
So that would protect us from being sued or protect us from having a builder come in and put high density, low income housing or
Anything
Any kind of
that they want.
because we don't address our
Exactly.
housing.
And we won't be able to address it until we get a determination from the Superior Court.
So if we get that determination, then
We are safe from anything like that coming and happening.
And what's been interesting in the reports from ruling that we're in good shape as a community, our affordable housing and our stock is really strong. So it'll be a favorable ruling from the courts, and the courts have, I believe, invited towns to file so that nobody can get in trouble. So it's not like we're gonna go to court and have to fight for it, it's just for asking for a just for a ruling on our interpretation of our housing stock, and he's gonna rule on it to protect us.
Exactly. And because there's a lot of towns in New Jersey that have done absolutely nothing, have zero affordable housing problems, and the courts are going after Newark and places like that have a huge obligation, but because of our population size, we have a small obligation. But even though we have a small obligation, we already have units set aside, which is seen as a very good thing in the judge's eyes.
The governing body's already endorsed the plan, so you are now seeking the court's approval of that
Exactly.
plan, which gives you the immunities as discussed, so that's what the action is, a declaration of approval from the court.
And so with that,
I'll
I will second.
Councilmember Brian,
Yes.
Councilmember Carr,
Yes.
Councilmember Doriga,
yes,
Councilmember Wells.
Yes.
Resolution 16-216 has been approved.
Next up is 16-23, amending the Borough Code. Chapters 2186, front deck yard requirements.
I thought we're on the payment of bill,
I thought that's
217,
217.
Oh.
217.
After 7.
217, 218, 219, 220.
That's what I just said.
Oh, those are good.
Oh, they're not up there on mine. Oh. Okay, can I ask a couple questions
Sure.
now? Now that I have mine and didn't have it updated, I just have a couple of questions. On 219, the auction of unneeded property, it doesn't have any vehicles listed.
It's not vehicles, it's equipment.
Okay,
We have a ton of old cell phones, computer equipment. Police department has some bicycles, old AEDs that are no longer in use.
okay. I think when I printed it, it didn't have anything, so I apologize.
Okay.
I had nothing, so. Okay, I had a question there. I was fine with that. And then just on the payment of bills with Prime Point for the new payroll, is that a $2,000 cost every payroll that we run? Or is that just to get it up and running?
They have those set up.
Okay, that and the same with the website, the 4,400 that's set up and
So that's the contract for a 1 year period.
Okay. And my last question on the payment of bills was just for Spectral, because I wasn't used to seeing that, it was leased phone service.
It's police department phones.
Okay. All right, I think I'm good, sorry.
Let's get it back to ordinance 1623. Wayne, could you, I don't have it here in my writing. Could you please read that for us? This is an introduction for public hearing and possible adoption. Mr. Shabar, this needs to go to the land use board.
Are, this will go to the land use board for their review and report and recommendation. 35-day period to provide a response.
So can we set the public hearing for this on 12/21?
Yeah, that would make more sense.
That way we'll have 2 meetings in order to weigh in on this before they get past this with recommendations.
An ordinance amending chapter 21-86 of the Borough Code concerning minimum yard requirements for front decks and existing bungalow colonies. Whereas NJSA 4055D-1 at second authorizes local governmental units to adopt ordinance to regulate land use to promote public health, safety, morals, and general welfare. And whereas the borough regulates land use and zoning by and through chapter 21 of the Borough Code, and whereas the governing body has determined that it is in the best interest of the residents of the borough to amend section 21-86 to provide for within changes, and now therefore be it ordained by the governing body of the borough of Highlands, the county of Moncton, the state of New Jersey, as follows. The following section of chapter 21, section 86, subsection A4, single-family residence shall be amended to provide as follows. Bulk area requirements, single-family dwelling shall meet the requirements shown in Schedule 1. Existing bungalow colonies shall meet the following requirements. Maybe I should read the additions.
Yes.
Okay. For every unit shall have associated with the minimum yard requirement around the perimeter of the unit and the attached accessory structure of 3 feet, except for those decks attached to the front of the dwellings situated in block 100, blocks 26.01 through 26.76, and block 69, blocks 15.01-15.28, which may extend to locations equivalent to those which existed prior to elevation or reconstruction as determined by prior property surveys conducted by a licensed surveyor. For those properties situated on block 100, lot 26.01 through 26.76, and blocks 69, lots 15.01 through 15.28 that do not have prior property surveys available, any new decks attached to the front of the dwelling can extend to a location which is the equivalent of the location of the front decks located on adjacent properties situated on the above aforementioned block and lots. That's the only addition.
Thank you. And just to confirm, we're setting that date for 12/21. Next, for introduction of ordinances is 1624, which is amending the Borough Code, Chapter 2.
It has to be voted on.
Oh,
All for it?
I'll second.
Councilmember Briand,
Yes.
Councilmember Carr,
Yes.
Councilmember DeRigo,
Yes.
Councilmember Wells.
Yes.
Ordinance 16-23 has been properly introduced and will have a public hearing and possible adoption on December 21st.
This next one is 1624, amending the Borough Code to create a section for police chaplains. I believe this will remain on the 12/7 for a hearing.
Ordinance 16-24 is an ordinance to amend chapter 2, section 10 of the code of the Borough of Highlands by the addition thereto of a new section entitled Police Chaplain, which is essentially creating the position of police chaplain for the Borough of Highlands Police Department.
I just want to confirm that this is a volunteer position and it's not a salary position. Chief, is there anything else you'd like to add?
No, basically, we've had an informal chapel program going back to Chief Davis. Mayor Little and Mayor Nolan used the police chaplain. I've spoken to the two chaplains in town. They both agreed to it. It is unpaid. It is no salary and benefits. It's a volunteer. It's widely recommended throughout the police community, including the president of staff was on the 21st century. It's a good part of community policing, and we've had it for years. It's never just been formalized, really.
And with that, I'll offer it.
I'll second it.
Councilmember Brianna,
Yes.
Councilmember Carr,
Yes.
Councilmember Diego,
Yes.
Councilmember Wells.
Yes.
Ordinance 16-24 has been properly introduced. We'll have a public hearing and possible adoption on December 7th, 2016.
On to committee reports. For communications, we're still doing some tweaks and people are giving us information for the borough website. Also, we launched an official Highlands, Borough of Highlands Facebook page. That page is only information that goes outward bound. There's no ads or political comments or any comments actually. At this point in time, the only people that can post to that site are the 5 council members, the mayor and council. There's been some discussion back and forth about having the recreation department be able to post whatever recreation events are going on, just so that all information from the borough is coming from one place. Then there is the Green Team update, which we did get our accreditation on October 20th. We're just starting to look through grants that we can start applying for. It's the end of the year, so there usually are a tremendous amount right now. However, both the team is looking at stuff, and Gerald Page, who's our grant contact at TNM, has told us that if we need any help from their team, we'll get them involved. I also was at a 2-hour meeting today at the grammar school where they are now applying for their accreditation for a bronze level as well as a state of New Jersey. I was there with the superintendent, Lou Bader, from DPW, and there was a nice 2-hour meeting. We got a lot of stuff done, so we're going to try to help them get on the process to get their accreditation as well. Mr. Carr, do you have any reports?
Just brief, Streetscape 2, Phase 2 started, moving along. We've had some minor complications with some old oil tanks that we're dealing with, and then so that's moving along. The Valley Street Pump Station has exposed a lot of problems down there. We had a contractor on board, Brian Gagan, and he dealt with that contract situation. But both T&M and everybody's involved with that, and it's moving along. Just ask for everybody to be a little patient there. I think we'll get it done. That's pretty much about it for me.
Okay. Ms. Drigo?
I have 3. I have the Highlands First Aid, August and September. If you have the paperwork, I think Ronald just did a typo. She was talking about the Clam Fest, and she has September 4th to the 7th. It really should be August 4th to the 7th. So the whole paper just needs to be adjusted to August 4th. They had 48 calls and 258 hours and 4 mutual aid, and that was in August. In September, they had a refresher course and an EMT training I'm trying to decipher this a little bit, but I think in August they had two new applications for review, and in September they had one. I don't know the results of those yet. But, the fire department had 10 total calls, and basically I want to just talk about the upcoming events. On December 11th, they will be hosting a breakfast with Santa at OLPH in conjunction with the Knights of Columbus and the Baymans Association. I did ask if there was a fee. According to our website, it doesn't appear that there's a fee for, or a cost to anybody that wanted to go to breakfast. It was on the website. And then the other thing is on December 18th, they'll be hosting their Toys for Tots, and toys can be dropped off currently at Off the Hook, Lusty Lobster, and Shore Graphics. Rebecca, do you know if there's one that's at the fire department?
You know what, I'm not 100% sure, because last year I couldn't attend, and that was the first year they did it. I don't know if they did it for a food drive. They may have said bring canned goods, but I can definitely, and actually if I had my email, I know I approved the food.
Right.
I remember reading it going, okay, if everybody's okay with that, so I'm not 100% sure. I don't want to say yes or no, but I don't think that there is.
If you could just let me know, and then
Yep.
we can get this on the website, community calendar, and then get all the information in one spot.
Okay, and then on the police report, it is a 4-page report, and basically, I just want to go over some of the community policing. They had the bike event like this past month in September, and they had an active shooter drill in Fairhaven. They had some self-defense training, and they talked about the raffle. They had a total of 597 calls this past month, 9 arrests, no juveniles, it appears. Total of 159 summons issued, 61 moving violations, 49 non-moving, 5 DWI, and 4 in violation of the Bar 116. 44, I'm sorry. That's about it.
Mrs. Waltz?
Under the Board of Ed, it's just one real quick thing, is that they're hosting their Veterans Breakfast this Friday at 9 a.m. It really is a great event for anybody that's been in the past. It's open to the public, any veteran can go in. It's really cute. They sing patriotic songs. The kids feed the veterans. It goes about 2 hours. It's really, really cute and a nice event. And also, Ms. Nolan asked me to announce, because Frank's not here, the Girl Scouts are doing a Veterans Day ceremony in this room on Veterans Day at 7 o'clock at night. And I believe they have some Girl Scouts sing their patriotic songs, and they have coffee and dessert and everything for the veterans that come, and a couple of speeches. It's also another really cute event. So that pretty much covers the Girl Scouts and the veterans. Up at the Board of Ed, for the Recreation Department, we've been keep moving forward, new ideas coming from the Rec Committee. Today we did discuss an executive session revamping the rental agreement for in here and getting in line with what's out there in most other towns. So that'll be something we'll be tweaking and moving forward to make sure it's a little more user friendly. At our last meeting, we've also been trying to ponder how you make high school and teen nights and middle school nights any better. So to my teenager's dismay, she came down and talked to the committee about what she thinks they would like to do, and according to teenagers, it's really not much other than nobody really wants to sit in a room where they feel like they're constantly watched. They did talk about the potential of different type of theme movie nights and that kind of stuff, and we'll see where that pans out. But unfortunately, those are 2 programs that it's just hard to grab that audience and get them to do anything really here. The basketball clinic has taken off, and that's doing very well. Kids on the move right now, we have 18 registered. The yoga is doing well at both Patak and in this building with the kids. So we're getting there, and I think the Halloween parade and costume contest was a great success, something that we did for years pre-Sandy, kind of brought that back. We had about at least 80 participants and 130 people probably down in this area when it was all said and done, so it was really, really good idea. And I think the holiday helpers, the recreation department with the Henry Hudson Key Club is going to offer free child care service for busy holiday shoppers on December 3rd from 9 to 3 in this building. The event is for Highlands and Atlantic's children 5 to 11. Will include games, activity, arts and crafts, and a snack. You just have to pre-register, so you can get the day to go shopping, which is always helpful. Breakfast with Santa is going to be here in this room on December 10th, so that'll be a busy weekend. That's the borough Breakfast with Santa that we have every year. That's from 9 to 11. And we're always looking for recreation committee members. And I will say, but I know there's one thing that probably wasn't on the chief's list. We did partner up with Care One, and we're going to have a Santa reading night up there as well. Yeah, we didn't make the flyer yet. So that's going to be December 6th. So Santa will be up at Care One, I think about 7 o'clock, and he's going to read to us the night before Christmas. We'll have a toy drive that'll go for the Robert D. Wilson Toy Fund. And it'll be good for the seniors that'll be there. And what time is it? I believe 7 is going to be. So Santa's going to be very busy. He's going to be a lot in this town. I don't know how he's going to go anywhere else. That's all I have.
I do have 2 things that I wanted to put out there, and one is I wanted to start getting some flyers together for things that we can get out to our residents in print. Not everybody's on Facebook and looking at the website. There's still confusion over the website. So I'd like to ask that if you're on a committee, that you send information to myself, Brian Gagan, so that we can coordinate what can get put into the next borough-wide mailing. Some people just like to put that piece of paper and stick it on the refrigerator and look at it. The other thing is Miller Beach parking. I'm sorry I sent a late email today, as I said that 2-hour meeting there has sapped away a lot of my time. But if people would remember that a couple of years ago we changed the parking regulation at Miller Beach because there was a lot of shenanigans going on late at night, in the middle of the night, other types of situations. The way that it is currently listed is that you can't use the lot or the beach from the hours of dawn to dusk, which mirrors all of our borough ordinance about public property. However, especially in the wintertime, it's hard for people to go to a restaurant when it's dusk, and dusk in the wintertime could be as early as 4:30. So it's really a hardship on both people visiting, people that live nearby, as well as our businesses. So it was my suggestion when one of my neighbors, one of my elderly neighbors, came over to me because she said she can't have her kids or grandkids visit her in the wintertime because they won't be able to park in the lot, and what if the street's full, all of this other kind of good stuff. I thought it was a good solution that if we were to amend those hours to 5 a.m. to 10 p.m. That way people can visit, people can use the beach, people can go out to dinner, and it wouldn't be a replay of, we'll say, bad behavior in the parking lot in the middle of the night that would disrupt.
I would ask Chief Wood to weigh in on it, but I would have no problem with that. I think when I was on board when we made those changes, because it was, it's a technical word, shenanigans going on down, it was a way to reel it in, and I think we could probably, I would think we could soften up on it a little bit, to allow the local community to use it, absolutely.
I don't have an issue with the parking. I would weigh in, I guess, on the beach use till 10 o'clock.
Oakland Beach.
Okay,
The beach
that's
is
what you
beach.
said. Yeah.
No, I'm saying
Okay.
currently,
Yeah.
that's what it is.
Okay.
Our current ordinance is
So I don't know if you-
beaches and parks.
Yeah.
It doesn't really apply to a parking lot. It seems everyone has, people are saying we have parking issues and then we close down parking lots.
Right.
It's two restaurants.
Yeah, I
It
know.
really doesn't make a lot of sense.
I have no issue with using a lot.
Chief, how do you feel about those proposed hours?
You can try it.
Okay. And can we get this implemented into place?
Yes, I think they're off to look for it tomorrow because there is one section in the obscure section of the code where it does mention parking lots as part of the parks. So we just have to change it. I have to look for it.
Okay.
I'll
Yeah,
find-
if you could just let me know where that
Is
is.
that, would that be all or just that?
That's all. I mean, and I just from living next to the lot, I would be, gardening or whatever, grilling, and people would say, what time is dusk? And it changes every day. Because, you don't know when dawn and dusk is, they, just wanted to have a hard and fast time so that they
No,
can
well, I
plan.
don't see any reason we can't.
Okay, thank you.
Is that gonna change it just to the one parcel? I don't know.
That's what I was gonna, is there any other parcels that
Well,
we're
he's gonna
aware
look
of?
up and see if it applies to lot as well.
Yeah, okay, cool.
Because then that would mean that this community center lot, we wouldn't be able to park it. But no one's enforcing that right now.
We kick people out of this one, we've been kicking out people out of this one a lot, because it's the mission we have the skate park and.
But then that would be inconsistent with Havana's, the lot next to Havana, which is also a borough lot. But that is used all the time, people park there for days.
Yeah, that's true, because basically that's through the year, that's what the borough wanted.
Right.
But it's not part of a park, we're technically a parking lot, by the basketball court right there is part of the park. And we've had some issues there, and then this one here, not Havana, by Havana. This one here with kids hanging out and some things that were found, some squads were thrown around and so forth, so we've been moving kids out of there to help stop that.
All right, well, I will look for this as well to see about the parks being connected. The parking lots being connected to the parks. Okay, anyone else have anything else? No?
Just a reminder that we turn the clocks back this weekend, too,
Yes.
to go with that.
Yes, very good. Okay, I'll open up public portion. Go ahead.
Kim Skorka, Short Drive. Resolution 16-220 wasn't on the agenda that was posted, so it kind of took me by surprise. I didn't realize it until after you passed it. I have some questions. The noise ordinance addresses bands outside May to October. What happens if the band is outside in November? It happened last year. They put up plastic around the outside, they have heaters, and a band that should be inside with the doors closed is outside. And this is an issue going to midnight because not everybody is off on January 1st. My boyfriend had to work last year. He works an hour away, he has to be up early, midnight's a little much. What's done is done,
Can you
but
speak to that, please?
Well, the ordinance allows for the extended 2-hour period on New Year's Eve, so it does exempt everything containing the noise ordinance. That 2-hour period extends it from 10 p.m. is the cutoff, but that one day it goes to 12 a.m.
I understand that. But Havana has set up their outside so that they can have a band outside all winter long. However, in section 3-2.4, letter J only addresses outdoor music from May to October.
I don't know if they don't have outdoor music on New Year's Eve.
Oh, they did last year. Because they put up plastic, and again, they have those space heaters outside. They party all night long. So now, are bands allowed outside in the winter or not?
This gives them the exemption for 2 hours, so.
Chief, I recognize, Chief had his hand up for a second there.
I see what Mr. Skorka is talking about, I think that is a question, I think it's been asked before. I don't know if we addressed it with, building or code to see if that structure is the outside or inside. Because I think there's a few more of those
That was gonna be my question, whether the band inside or out, that was brought up, whether or not that structure is, if they're allowed to have, unfortunately, heaters underneath it like they're doing, the safety issue comes to the rules.
I'm also rather upset that you know the history of this and you actually voted to approve it.
Well, unfortunately, Ms. Sorka, we are a tourist town, we are moving in the direction, there's 1 or 2 nights a year, we're all gonna have to, bite the bullet and
This isn't 1 or 2 nights. They had at least 2 last year because they got a fine for 1 night. And I spoke with an officer on Saturday and said they've already been warned this year.
and they'll feel the consequences of it if they violate it again. I'm sure Chief Wood and the staff will take care of it. But it is, again, I do believe we have to not make blanket exceptions, but exceptions when it's a holiday like that in New Year's. Same thing with the beginning of the summer season with Wind and Sea. There's always that first entourage of events down there, noise, and if that kind of clutters out. So it's not a perfect world, perfect situation, but I don't think it's happening as bad as it once was. They've reeled themselves in quite a bit. I am concerned about them setting up the band outside because that's part of the situation there. So if the band's inside, it does help with the noise.
With the doors
Substantially.
closed.
Is that?
I said with the doors closed.
Yeah. So we should find out what they're planning on doing there and figure that out. That's what I can offer. I have to support this because it's a business in town. It's one night a year, unfortunately.
It's actually not one night a year, but, and as you said, they have been better, and I agree they have been better, but they're loosening up again. Because they think no complaints are coming in. But it, the music was up loud again on Saturday. Louder than it's been all summer long.
Okay.
And just to clarify, this resolution is only for New Year's Eve for that one night for 2 hours.
I understand, but you also have to understand that not everybody is off on January 1st. Some people actually have to get up early and go to work. And I didn't move across the street from some bar with loud music. It was a nice, quiet restaurant. And, I didn't move to a tourist town. But if that's the direction it's going, God willing, my property values go back up and I can get the hell out of here. Because this is ridiculous. On that note, when is Hilltop leaving? Do we have a date yet?
I'm looking at you, Brian.
Yep.
Because he's been instructed to communicate with Red Bank Recycling, and I believe their schedules.
Yeah, I'm working with the, I guess, engineer that is from the construction company that Carteret has selected. He keeps promising the updates, hasn't been delivering them, so, it's a very short time away that I'm calling Red Bank Recycling.
Okay.
They gave me a few weeks ago when I spoke to them last, they said they're working on about a 3-week lead time. So from the time I call them, 3 weeks out, they'll begin working on it.
Okay, so hopefully by next council meeting, we'll have a call in the Red Bank.
Just saying, the call's been made. It just right now we're waiting for their scheduling guy to schedule the right equipment to come here. I think they, correct me if I'm wrong, they already did a site visit. They looked at it. They're waiting, but we're going to use that demolition commitment or all the equipment here as a drop dead date for Carteret, and that's how we're going. But it's getting scheduled. What date? I don't know. It's Red Bank Recycling.
We keep pushing this off and pushing this off, and it's gonna be springtime, and we're still gonna be looking at it, because we're waiting on Carteret.
We're not, that's not happening. We're waiting for the scheduling officer or person from Red Bank Recycling to give us a date. We can't dictate when they're gonna show up with the equipment. They have their equipment, their demolition crew, and it's not a standard house to demo, it's got special equipment. As soon as he gives us a demolition date, I made my position very clear to Mr. Gagan. I don't care what Carteret's doing. The demolition date is set by Red Bank Recycling. As soon as they give us a date, that date will be communicated to Carteret to give them a fair opportunity. Drop that date. I would love to have that date from Red Bank Recycling and offer to today, but I don't have that. I can't dictate their schedule.
But they've been 3 weeks out for the last month.
And guess what? For recycling, I guess they're busy. If you can call over there and get them and give us a date, that'd be great. But we can't push them any further along than what we have.
Anyone else? Yes. Could you please use the microphone though? That it's very hard for them to pick up the. It's hard for them to pick up the audio. Well, Kim's voice carries and yours doesn't.
Barbara Nucci, 28 Shrewsbury Avenue. Quick question, I guess for Pat, more than anybody. User-friendly budgets. I know there was a state mandate that put them into effect at a certain year. I don't know what year.
This year,
Oh,
2016.
okay, because I've seen other towns have them other years, but is there, I didn't see the attachment on the back of our adopted budget that had that nice user-friendly form that showed some numbers that were really good.
Yeah, we have that. I know it was attached to the introduced budget. I don't know if it was attached to the adopted budget. It's almost the same thing, and we could provide that.
And could you get it as a separate link on the town site so
Sure.
that you have the adopted and the user friendly?
Sure.
And another question,
Yes.
do you have, I guess, software that could let you go back a couple of years and make user-friendly budgets for past years?
Absolutely no.
That's all, thank you.
Anyone else?
Greg Kaufman, 157 Bay Avenue. Couple of issues. The empty lot next to me, the parking lot, this past weekend was a vendor's market. So I've got a retail operation operating off of a parking lot. I don't know what kind of zoning, it's not an approved use.
Retail is not an approved use.
Retail off of a parking lot is not an approved use.
I wasn't
It's
sure
not
about
a
that
brick and
myself.
mortar
I drove
store.
past it. I'm not
It's a
sure
parking lot.
how that
And if it's approved, then where's the permit? You had, where's the insurance? You had a public event on a parking lot. This is an issue for me. The other issue I have is the fact that, and this was a real problem today, with this same gentleman, the property marker, I had my property marked and staked. The stake was pulled up with the sidewalk, with the streetscape program. My neighbor restaked it. Can't do that. I also need the town to come out. I need to be reimbursed for having to have my property restaked because of this, because of the streetscape program. I'm dealing with this jerk, this abusive jerk of a neighbor because of this property line issue. So this is a real problem. I don't want to have to pay another $125 to get my property staked because the streetscape program pulled it up. I'm scraping.
Have you spoken with the police department about this?
Yes, I did.
And so a report has been filed?
Yes, I will not be threatened. I was threatened with physical harm, and that's not acceptable.
Absolutely
And
not.
and like I say, I don't want to see fairs and how are we developing this town? If it's going to be an event, then it's a Highlands Business Partnership event with we go into the park, we have to get permits and stuff.
Yeah, I drove past it. I wasn't
A parking
sure.
lot is a parking lot. Either you charge, you let people park there, or you charge for parking. It's a parking lot. It's not a retail.
So we don't jump to any conclusions.
I was gonna say,
Dan Mercado's on it, he's investigating it. I heard you earlier today, I appreciate you bringing it up now. We're investigating it,
All right.
and we're gonna find out.
I also want to know about the stake, the property stake, how to go about this, because,
And I answered that question.
he's threatened, he's putting in the fence and all of this.
Kurt, I answered that question earlier, and I said.
No, you didn't. You said you would look into it.
Yes, and that was my answer. My answer is streetscape. We had several issues throughout the town with streetscape pulling, with the vendor pulling the markers up. Did I
Okay.
not say I would investigate it? We're exploring our options on how to resolve that problem. Did I not say that to you?
In the
Did I
meantime,
not say that to you?
you said you would investigate it,
Yes,
but
that
you
was
did
4
not,
hours ago.
okay, excuse me. This is very upsetting to be threatened the way I was today. The issue is, I've got a property marker, when is it gonna be dealt with? I understand I've only brought it up today, but I am asking for direction. If you've just said, oh, we're aware of this, then how come none of the property owners were notified that if you had your stake pulled up, we're dealing with this, we have an issue that this has happened. I was looking at, well, I'm gonna have to spend it because I'm gonna have to get the survey done again for the flood elevation. Well, I'm gonna be out another $125 to get that staked again. the fact that you guys didn't notify anybody if this is happening, you know, so the fact that, oh, we're gonna look at it and deal with it, well, you already know that this is an issue. So how is it being dealt with? And when will we know? I don't need any more aggravation.
Yeah,
Once Mr. Mercado comes back.
Yeah, I'll give you answers when I have answers, and our position is still the same. When I have answers, I will inform you.
And Mr. Mercado is gonna look at the use for that property, and to see what kind of, if it's within our code, right? Okay. So as soon as we get that from Mr. Mercado, Mr. Carter will get that information to you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Anyone else?
I almost forgot. Resolution 16-214, for the repair of the electrical stuff down at Veterans Park.
Yes,
What exactly does that entail?
I will let Doug answer that one.
This is a way to measure quite a bit of debate on what kind of electricity we should put back in the park. One is addressing the lighting of the flagpoles that, but primary doing a new sub-panel box that is going to be slightly elevated to be out of the floodplain so that we don't have to use generators and some other type of devices to drive power down there. And it will be able to be added on to with additional lighting that we may want to do in the future, maybe it's on the boardwalk itself, but it's replacing the main, I want to say substation, but transformer box elevated so that we have power in that park. It will be eliminating any in-ground lighting or anything like that. I wasn't around when that decision was made to put lighting in the ground a couple inches above waterline, but we will be not putting any kind of lighting in harm's way that way.
But you are gonna light the flags.
Yes, that was a
About
priority.
time. About time.
Anyone?
I'll go to my
Your name and address for the record.
Tina Kemmer, 164 Linden Avenue. I actually want to say that I'm glad that Ms. Skorka did say something about the bands playing, the noise. Living up on 164, like we can hear it all the time and it echoes and reverberates and it's like louder than I've ever heard it before. Friday, Saturday, and I'm not even on like the hillside, I'm kind of off to the hillside and I can hear it, so it's a little surprising that we've got this kind of, thing still going on. I thought it was a VFW. So anyway, it's a little annoying for me. But I'm glad she brought it up and I didn't bring it up, but it is something that, to me, it's I hope it doesn't continue. Also, the other thing I wanted to, I don't know if you guys have read the Atlantic Highlands Herald, October 31st, letter to the editor. Ms. Bucko wrote a lovely letter to the editor, and I wanted to commend her for that. I also wanted to clarify that indeed it was the border company that did the paving on Linden Avenue with the in conjunction with the county, and they did a wonderful job. I want to say it was the county. It definitely wasn't, anybody else. They did a great job, even though the curbs are kind of crumbling and the weeds are growing through. So they did their bit. And everything else is kind of, in my opinion, is a shambles. The sidewalks look like crap. The weeds are growing. What can I say? The county did the job. They did a great job. And I'm just trying to think here. So I just wanted to commend that, and I also have all the information about that if anybody needs the information, who and what the history was and who did what, but I'm glad that that's finally over because that stretched out from May until October, so quite a long time, particularly right for a very busy period and with traffic to the ferry and everything. And last but not least, I don't know about the rest of you guys, but I just kind of got my new property tax bill and I really, literally almost had a heart attack just to see what the increase is into next year. And I just, I agree with Ms. Bucko that, we really need to look deep and hard at like where we're moving in the future. And not to go with the status quo, and that we really need to vote for change. We need to vote, and we need to vote for change, because I just see, my quarterly property taxes are going up $300 a quarter. That's a lot of money. And honestly, all I see is the paved road that the county did for me, and the new garbage cans on Bay Avenue. So I'm just waiting. I'm waiting to see, this town become something that Seabright's become. That all of these other towns devastated by the 4-year anniversary of Sandy have become. Every time I look at Seabright, my blood boils, because I'm like, what are we doing wrong? Why are we so in the situation that we are? But anyway, it just really is especially irritating right now, because it's always at the end of the year when you get that piece of paper and you see your property taxes jump so high, and I don't know. There's many things going on. I'm sure we certainly hear about them here, but it's just very disheartening, because I'm just waiting to see when this revitalization is going to take place. So thank you.
If I may, just to, if you're not aware, we're working with the county for the Safe Roads to Schools grant. Mr. Gagan and Captain Burton and I all went up there at the end of the summer. And it's a few months out before they award it yet, but that would help to redo the concrete all around the grammar school.
Right.
So we're just waiting for that to come in, because you don't want to spend all of your own funds, because then your taxes are just going to go up higher. If you can make it into conjunction with a grant, or maybe even 2 grants, then your tax rate would
Jump up even more.
exactly if you were to do this
It's
without
long
the help of the
overdue.
grants.
Those curbs need to be fixed.
Absolutely.
And shoveled in the winter and looked after and all of
Mr.
that.
Bader, the DPW superintendent, is already working with both schools on a shoveling plan for the winter.
That would be great, especially with the bus there.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Does anyone else? Motion to adjourn.
Aye.
Aye.